Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Let's Lead. Today we will be talking about another classical problem of finding a subsequence of length k with largest sum. And since let's talk about the question first. Let's say you are given a list of integers or an array of integers, for example 2, -1, 3 and 3, and you are given another target variable, for example k is equal to 2. Now we need to find a subsequence of length 2 from this array whose sum is largest. For example, if I take this subsequence, its sum would be 6. If I take this subsequence, its sum would be 1. If I take this subsequence, its sum would be 2. So in such way, I need to find that subsequence whose sum is maximum. Now from the if someone would see a question like this, they would straight away jump and say that that what we can do is we can sort it in, let's say, for ascending order or descending order, and then take the, if we are sorting it in descending order, we can take the topmost two values and present it as the answer. But the catch is we need to retain the order of the elements of this array. So it's a subsequence and not the elements directly. Now from the first look, it's a problem of heap. Okay, so since I will be solving it using heap in Python, I'll talk about the heap queue module here, which helps us to implement a heap in Python. And inside the heap queue module, there is, I'll talk about certain methods. Heap queue dot heapify converts basically converts any list or any array into heap in Python. And also we have heap push, which lets us push elements into the heap. And we also have heap pop, which basically helps us to pull out elements from this particular heap. Now heap pop, since we will be using minq, what heap pop actually does is, whenever we call heap pop, it will actually return us, or it will actually remove the element with least value. So for example, if in my heap I have -1, 2, so whenever I call heap pop, by default -1 will be popped out. Now this is about heap pop. Okay, and this is what we will do is, now let's talk about the how the implementation will look in Python. What we can do is, for example, let's take this above example, 2, -1, 3 and 3, and we have a heap here. Okay, what we will do is we will start pushing each element one by one into the heap, okay, along with the index of that element. So the catch here is we will insert, or we will push a list of the element itself and the index of that element. Why the intuition behind this, I'll explain later. But right now, just understand, we will push the element as well as the index of that element. So हम सबसे पहले 2 पुश करेंगे, उसके बाद इसका जो इंडेक्स था 0 पुश करेंगे. नेक्स्ट उसके बाद हम क्या पुश करेंगे, -1, 1. सो पहला वैल्यू, दूसरा इंडेक्स. नाउ द कैच हियर इज, सिंस यहाँ पे k हमारा 2 था, हमें मेक श्योर करना है कि जैसे ही इसमें 2 से ज़्यादा एलिमेंट्स होने लगे, इस मेरे हीप में 2 से ज़्यादा एलिमेंट्स होने लगे, ओके, तो हमें हीप पॉप यूज करके जो लीस्ट एलिमेंट है उसको बाहर कर देना है। अब थर्ड में जैसे ही 3 आएगा, कॉमा 2, हम चेक करेंगे क्या इसमें अभी भी 2 एलिमेंट है, नहीं, तो इन दैट केस जो लीस्ट एलिमेंट होगा हीप पॉप यूज करके ये वाला एलिमेंट बाहर हो जाएगा। तो अब इसमें बचे 3,2 और 2,0। उसके बाद फिर से हम लेंगे नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट 3,3 हो जाएगा। इस बार ये इंडेक्स है, ये वैल्यू है। इस बार फिर से हम देखेंगे क्या इसमें अभी भी 2 एलिमेंट है, नहीं, इसमें अभी 3 हो गए, तो हम ये वाला पॉप आउट कर देंगे। तो इन दी एंड विल बी ओनली हैविंग 3,3 और 3,2। उसके बाद हम क्या कर सकते हैं, इस दोनों को यूजिंग द इंडेक्स हम सॉर्ट कर सकते हैं। तो हम इसको ऐसे, अभी तो जैसे सेम एलिमेंट है, लेट्स से यहाँ पे 4 होता, तो इन दैट केस 4,2 पहले आ जाएगा, 3,3 बाद में आ जाएगा। उसके बाद हम क्या कर सकते हैं, दोनों लिस्ट में से पहला एलिमेंट उठा के we can present our result. So this is how the implementation will be done for this, and let's go ahead for the implementation part. We will start off by importing the required library. Import heapq, and then we will create a method, let's say max subsequence, okay, which will take in 2 parameters. For example, that will be the list or the array of integers and the target, or basically the k, which is the number of subsequent integers we need to consider. And we will create an empty list first, let's say pq, okay, and then we will convert it into heapq dot heapify method, okay, and we will pass the blank list. Now it is converted into heap, and then we will run a loop on the length of the numbers passed in the array for I in the range len of nums, okay, and after that heapq dot heap push, okay. We will start pushing elements one by one, and it takes 2 parameters. First the heap, and second parameter is what value we need to push into that heap. So it will be nums, num value at an index I and that particular index. So we will loop each time, and we will start pushing the elements into the heap, and that element will be nothing but the element from that heap or the list at that particular index and the index value, okay. And now we will check if len of heap is basically greater than k. In that case, what will happen is we will heap q dot heap pop, and we will pass pq, okay. So as soon as it is greater than k, the least element will be popped out. So heap pop basically pops out the least element. After that, we can sort our heap. So what we'll do is pq dot sort, I'll write a lambda expression, key is equal to, on what value do we need to sort is basically the index. So what we'll do, lambda x is the first element of the heap. So basically, since we have passed the 2 values, or a list of 2 values or 2 elements into the heap, first being the element itself and second being the index of that element, so what we'll do is we will sort our heap based on the first index value, or the element which lies on the first index, that is nothing but the index itself, okay. And now we will create empty list in which we will put our values itself. Okay, so what we can do, for I in range len of, so we will run this loop only till the length of the heap, because we only need the elements from the heap. Answer dot append, and what we will append, since it's already sorted, it will preserve the order. So we can just pq at an index I. Okay, and what from that index, what we need to pick, the 0th value. Okay, and we can just return the answer. Okay, so this is the implementation. If I run this and let's say I call this, for example, we'll take an example like we'll pass in list first 1, 2, 4, 3, for example. Okay, and we need 2. Now if I run this, it will return me 4, 3. This subsequence is the greatest. So this is how we can we can implement this particular problem. Thank you, and I'll be back with another episode.